we've waited our turn, but now it's time for our industry to be opened up.
I do.
After news from state officials that private gatherings like weddings and other events can increase capacity with negative tests or vaccinated guests, now a push to have permitting fees waived for an industry that has been crippled by the pandemic.
The events industry brought 2.7 million visitors and $3.5 billion in spending to San Diego in 2019. 2020 obviously tells a very different story, but we're in a position now as we come out of COVID-19, as we come out of this pandemic, we have to intentionally support and help those industries that have been hardest hit.
Supervisor Nathan Fletcher is hoping to waive some fees for events using county services, something that event operators like Laura McFarland say can really help.
It's been incredibly hard. I have an 18-year-old son who's going into college, and we've used his college fund to survive. So we're not sure how we're going to continue paying for his college. I've saved 20 years. Having these fees waived, when you're looking at, do I do an event, do I not? If you can save anywhere from $30,000 to $50,000, that could be the difference of you deciding to go forward.
McFarland also leads the San Diego Event Coalition, a group that since last year has been fighting for a seat at the table to negotiate safe reopening guidelines for large events.
Our numbers are doing much better. We want a path back, which every other industry has been given a path back on the tier system.
Fletcher's proposal will be taken up by the entire board and, if approved, could save the event industry a collective $2 million.
It's just decimated our industry. It's really unfortunate, but we're ready to come back.
Aaron Bianchi with Bright Event Rentals and the California Association for Private Events says the permitting proposal is good news and says the state allowing larger group gatherings is huge for the local wedding industry.
Before it was 3 households, no eating, no drinking for a reception. And that, that's not the wedding that many people have dreamed of.
Bianchi says many couples moved their weddings to Arizona during the pandemic as that state was more open. She says her and others have been negotiating event reopening guidelines with state officials for months.
It's got to be economically viable for our wedding planners, our vendors, everyone, in order to come back. It's got to make sense for them.
The new guidelines hit April 15th. In the state's red reopening tier, private events can have up to 200 guests if they've been vaccinated or recently tested negative. Capacity then will continue to increase as our local situation improves. Matt Hoffman, Kpbs News.